Hey, it's Wes Pruitt from 4-Star Sports Media. Before they make it to the majors, they make their mark right here in Northwest Arkansas. The Naturals are about to light up the diamond in 4-Star Sports Media as you cover it on every base. From rising stars to unforgettable moments, it all starts here with 4-Star Sports Media. Podcasts, live shows, and expert takes all in one place. 4star.live on web and 4-Star Sports M on X. Your 24/7 home for sports coverage from every possible angle.
It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It's Wednesday night.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
What's going on, Fayetteville? What's going on, Razorback fans? Welcome to the Hog Slop, presented to you by Fayetteville's Mojitos Fayetteville and powered by 4-Star Sports Media. Tonight, we are running a live feed due to the podcast recording that we would typically do on Wednesday night anyway. And like Jim Ross just told you, it is Wednesday night. Look, we're getting closer to game week. Arkansas is deep into fall camp under first-year head coach Ryan Silverfield, and the quarterback battle remains probably the biggest question around the program. And the opener against North Alabama is coming up swiftly. This is the time of year where every single practice matters. A good scrimmage can move a player up the depth chart. An injury can force a younger player into a much bigger role. And a strong week can absolutely decide a starting job. And before you know it, Arkansas will be kicking off against North Alabama right here in Fayetteville, as I am roughly 4 miles away. Wes Pruitt, 4-Star Sports Media. Welcome into the Hog Slop right here on August 19th, 2026. Tonight, we're going to get into the biggest question of fall camp, which is who is taking the first snap at quarterback against North Alabama. We will also get you caught up on the injuries that could affect this roster, explain why Sutton Smith's preseason recognition absolutely matters, and later, I'll give you 5 things every Razorback fan needs to know about the upcoming Week 1 contest against North Alabama. And stay with us, because the final thing that you need to know about North Alabama could potentially be the most important. This game is not just an opener, it's a live depth chart audition. But once again, thank you for taking time out of your evening to watch us tonight, to listen to us tonight. And it's time to get into segment number 1. Appreciate everyone watching and listening over on our social media pages at 4-Star Sports M on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. 4-Star Sports Media Facebook page as well. Appreciate everyone watching and listening. All right, Arkansas began fall camp August 5th and has 25 practices scheduled before their September 5th opener, like I said earlier, against North Alabama. This is the first full fall camp under Ryan Silverfield, and right now the biggest goal is not just to look good in practice. The goal is to become a more organized, more physical, and more dependable football team. Now, before we get to injuries and some awards, we have to start with the biggest question in camp. The quarterback battle is not just about who throws the prettiest ball. It's about which player Ryan Silverfield and offensive coordinator Tim Cramsey trust to run this football team. Now, we'll get into more about Cramsey here in just a minute, but you got A.J. Hill, K.J. Jackson, K. Trotter. You've also got Hank Hendrix as well. Hank, from what I've been told, has a very strong arm. But they have been among the names that are in this quarterback conversation, really just two being K.J. Jackson, the returner, and A.J. Hill, the incoming transfer from Memphis. But the staff really does not have to rush this decision. What it does have to do, though, is the staff has to get this correct. The winning quarterback has to be able to run the offense, keep the ball out of danger, OTB, TTB, handle game situations, but more importantly, they have to be able to make the routine throws and create plays when the offense needs one during the game. KJ Jackson has experience inside the program. A.J. Hill has the physical tools to get some more attention. But this is about more than camp highlights. This is about, can they process? Can they handle the pressure? Can they get the team lined up? Can they manage third down? Can they avoid turning a promising drive into a bad decision with an errant throw? And the biggest question is offensive identity. If Arkansas is starting a new quarterback, or even if it's simply working through a competition, you want to run the football, stay ahead of the chains, create manageable situations, and you do not want your quarterback facing a 3rd and 8 all afternoon. And inside this offense, and yes, we know this offense. We covered Tim Cramsey at Memphis for the last 6 years. Well, we covered Silverfield at Memphis the last 6 years. But we, once again, per Trey Biddy, per many others, we broke the news on Cramsey coming to Arkansas. We know this offense. We understand how Cramsey operates it. But it's going to put a lot on the offensive line. And Arkansas has to be physical. And it has to be physical from a quarterback standpoint as well as a running game standpoint. But the offensive line has to be even more physical. And the most physical in this offense has to be the offensive line. They have to be. There's no other way around it because they have to be able to protect the quarterback. They have to be able to create rushing lanes. And they have to be able to allow this offense to have balance and be able to take shots down the field. There's another name that you need to remember as week 1 approaches, and that is Chris Marshall. Reports are that he had catches of 34 and 96 yards in a recent Arkansas scrimmage. And that matters because Arkansas needs desperately explosive plays. The Hogs cannot ask the quarterback to be perfect on a 12-play drive all season long. That is not sustainable in the SEC and in college football for that matter. They need players who can create a big play, flip the field position very quickly, and make a defense pay for a mistake. And that's where Cramsey is going to be something that I think Arkansas fans are going to enjoy, is that he, at times, can make a defense majorly pay for a mistake. And if Marshall can become a legitimate deep threat, it changes this entire offense. Safeties have to respect the vertical game. That can create more room underneath for more speedster wide receivers and running backs coming out of the backfield. More importantly, this is what Arkansas wants from a running game perspective. Arkansas is going to be physical in the run game. If you look at Ryan Silverfield, he's an offensive line guy himself, even though he started coaching in defense. But he is a line guy, trenches, defensive line, offensive line. This is where Arkansas is going to make or break this season, is in the trenches. And if you're just joining us, we're talking Arkansas fall camp and the quarterback competition between A.J. Hill and K.J. Jackson. Stick around because after the break, we're going to get into the health of this roster, which is a very important topic, and the injury that could potentially make special teams a bigger concern than many fans may realize. But the quarterback decision will get all the headlines, and rightfully so. You have to have a quarterback that is going to be able to play consistently throughout the season. Moreover, and potentially more importantly, you have to have a backup that can step in if time calls for that. And that is where I think A.J. Hill really is the most vital piece in this entire thing because he has experience in that situation itself. That exact situation. Now, yes, you go back to last year to the Arkansas game. There was a situation where Brendan Lewis went out of the game. Arrington Maiden came into the game. He's the quarterback that drug the Arkansas defender. It was not A.J. Hill. A.J. Hill was in to come into the game there, but he didn't have his helmet. And because of that, they put Maiden in the game. But when you look at this quarterback situation, Arkansas is going to have to get it right. They're going to have to get it right. And that's something that I think a lot of fans, obviously, and potentially rightfully so, have a little bit of skepticism about. Can Arkansas get that right? Well, like I said, it's going to get all the headlines, but the availability of this team may tell the bigger story. We'll get into more of that here momentarily, right here on Hog Slop, presented to you by 4-Star Sports Media.
Hey, it's Wes Pruitt from 4-Star Sports Media. The Ozarks have hockey fever, and 4-Star Sports Media is your cure. Get exclusive Arkansas hockey coverage, player stories, and everything that makes Arkansas hockey unstoppable. Hogs can skate, and at 4-Star Sports Media, hockey lives, breathes, and breaks the ice. Podcasts, live shows, and expert takes all in one place. 4star.live on web and 4-Star Sports M on X.
Welcome back to the Hog Slop, presented to you by Mojitos Fayetteville. If you're looking for an incredible place to go by, eat, drink, and watch Arkansas football, Mojitos Fayetteville is your place to go. But we've talked about camp battles. Now we've got to get into the part of August that can make or break a season before the season really ever starts, and that is injuries, depth, and also who has to step up. So we're going to get to Sutton Smith being on the Doak Walker watch list in just a minute. But first, Arkansas has key players working back into the fold, and a couple of injuries that could force younger players into bigger roles sooner than maybe some had expected. Arkansas came into fall camp with positive news surrounding Phoenix Jackson. Both missed some of the spring, but were expected to go, they are expected to go full go for the fall. And that's very important because every defense has to have depth, especially at linebacker and in the secondary, especially when you look at it on a SEC level. I mean, this conference is currently the second best conference in college football. Now, I understand people may scoff at that, but the Big Ten's won 3 straight national championships. I don't know any other way to judge college football besides that. I mean, if you win a national championship, you're the best team in the country. So, but being cleared is one thing. Being game ready is completely another. Can they make tackles without hesitation? Can they recover properly after practice? Can they get back to playing fast instead of thinking about where their bodies are when they're fully ready? Then there's the punting situation. Connor Smith has suffered a season-ending ACL injury, and that may not be the headline that fans want to really talk about in August, but special teams can absolutely swing games, and Silverfield and Cramsey are well aware of that. But you have to have someone who can flip the field. You need someone who can handle a bad snap, a pressure situation, and the moment. Arkansas really didn't want to discover that in week 1, that it has a major special teams problem. But you look all across this team, and speaking of injuries, Sutton Smith had a lower leg injury, and it's something that I'm going to get more into it here momentarily, but I think it's something that you probably need to keep an eye on. But when we come back around to the running back room, we're going to talk about Sutton Smith's conversation in a bigger way because, well, it's going to be bigger than just an awards list. If he is as good as the recognition suggests that he is, it changes the entire formula for Arkansas offensively. He was named to the Doak Walker preseason watch list as a national recognition, and it puts the Arkansas transfer running back in a conversation with some of the best players at that position in the entire country. Now, awards in August do not win football games, right? We all understand that. But a productive running game absolutely does win football games. And Sutton Smith, very familiar with this offense. He's been in this offense for the last 4 seasons. He was recruited by Ryan Silverfield to Memphis, kids out of Georgia. Really good kid. I've talked to Sutton Smith numerous times, interviewed him numerous times when he was with Memphis. If Sutton Smith becomes the centerpiece of this offense, it can take pressure off of the quarterback, which we just talked about in the opener. But it also gives the offensive line confidence. Okay, hey, we've got a guy back there that's a bell cow. But it also, more importantly, and this is, Mike Washington did really well last year, but it also helps the defense by being able to control the clock and give Arkansas, most importantly, an identity. And if Arkansas is going to make noise this season, in 2026, the Hogs have to have players who can become more than just solid contributors. Arkansas has to have game changers. And Smith can absolutely be one, both in the running game and, don't forget, he's very dangerous in the special teams game as far as returning kicks as well. So, that's something that I think may be getting missed in some of this conversation about it. But after this, we're going to be putting North Alabama more under the microscope as we look at 5 things you, as an Arkansas fan, need to know about the Lions, what Arkansas must do to control the game, and one area that will tell us more about this team than just the final score. Don't forget, folks, Hog Slop is proudly presented by Mojitos Fayetteville. Football season is around the corner, and it's also more than a game. It's also where you can go watch, who you watch, and the atmosphere who makes Saturdays special. Mojitos Fayetteville is the place to meet up with friends, enjoy great food and drinks, and make your Razorback game day plans stop there on game day. Make Mojitos Fayetteville part of your football season, and tell them Hog Slop and 4-Star Sports Media sent you their way. Very, very, very intriguing opponent for week 1. Welcome back to the Hog Slop. Arkansas opens the season against North Alabama on September 5th. Kickoff set for 3:15. The game's going to air on SEC Network. Now, don't let the FCS label make you tune us out here. This is the first game of a new era, and the details matter here. A slow start, a special teams mistake, a turnover that, turns into a pick six or turns into a quick score, it can turn into a nervous afternoon very, very, very quickly. And with that, we're going to give you 5 things that you need to know about North Alabama, but Arkansas needs to look like the bigger, more physical, and more prepared and better football team. But we're about a week away from kickoff, and here's 5 things that you need to know about North Alabama and the game itself. Number 1, this is the first public test of the Ryan Silverfield era. This game's not only about beating an FCS opponent, it's a first chance to see whether Arkansas looks prepared. And when I say prepared, I'm saying this. Are the substitutions clean? Is the offense properly getting lined up in time and in the correct position? Is there confusion before the snap? Are there needless penalties that should not be committed? Does this team look organized on the sideline? That's one that many don't think or speak about. A good opener should look very controlled. Arkansas should not need late game drama in this week 1 opener. The Hogs should take control early, execute cleanly, and then allow the coaching staff, which is essentially brand new, to use this game as a chance to evaluate this roster. And the first thing is the Ryan Silverfield debut. Number 2 is where this game maybe gets a little more uncomfortable if Arkansas is not sharp early. Number 2, North Alabama is an FCS opponent, but Arkansas cannot treat this game casually. The danger is not that Arkansas should fear the Lions of North Alabama. The danger, as I just talked about, is a slow start. It's turnovers. It's penalties. It's special teams mistakes and blunders. It is allowing an underdog to hang around just long enough to gain confidence against you. Arkansas has to take the field and establish dominance, and physical control. They have to be able to put together clean drives and remove doubt extremely early in the game. We've talked about why this cannot be a casual opener, but next we're going to get into the most obvious and most important storyline of Week 1. It's what we discussed earlier in the show, and that is the quarterback situation. Number 3, the quarterback decision becomes real in Week 1. Now, whether Silverfield, Cramsey, and this staff names a starter well before the game or waits until closer to kickoff, the quarterback situation, whomever it is going to be under a microscope. Fans want to see command of this offense. Fans want to see command in passes, accuracy in passes. Once again, can he get the offense lined up? Can he make the right decision in the offense? Can he complete the easy throw? Can he get the ball to his playmakers with precision? Most importantly, can he avoid turnovers? Because I know one thing for sure, and I know Tim Cramsey, I've covered him for the last few seasons, turnovers are not something he puts up with. Not something he puts up with. But those create unnecessary pressure on you as the quarterback. And Arkansas does not need its quarterback to throw for 400 yards in the opener. Arkansas needs a quarterback who can run the offense effectively and efficiently and show this staff that he can be trusted when the schedule gets tougher, and it's going to very quickly after Week 1. The quarterback will get the spotlight, but the next thing we discuss is whether Arkansas gets to play comfortably. Can the Hogs control the line of scrimmage? Now, yes, we are discussing an FCS opponent. I'm well aware of that. But number 4, Arkansas has to control the line of scrimmage. I talked about it earlier in the show. Silverfield's big thing is the line. He understands the importance of the trenches. Arkansas has to do it. This is where the difference in size, depth, and conference level should show immediately. The Razorbacks should be able to run the football. They should be able to throw the football around the field with ease. They should wear down the Lions as the game goes. And honestly, by halftime, this game should really be over with. Now, we talked about it earlier, but Sutton Smith's Doak Walker watch list recognition makes the run game even more interesting for this football team. Don't forget, he wears number 5, last person for Arkansas who wore number 5, a guy named a running back named Darren McFadden, won the award 2006-2007, one of 2 players only to win it back-to-back, he and Ricky Williams from Texas. Arkansas should want to get him into rhythm early in Week 1. A strong run game allows the whole offense to settle down, sit back, have fun, and score points. And that matters because if Arkansas can run the football on early downs, everything becomes easier. Play action opens up. Third down becomes more manageable, and the quarterback can play faster, but the defense gets rest. And the final thing to know for the fans, thanks everyone for watching and listening tonight, but the final thing to know for the fans is beyond the starters. North Alabama could tell us who is truly in Arkansas's rotation and who is strictly just a camp name. Because number 5, this is a depth chart audition. The first game is where good camp reports will become real opportunities. The backup quarterback needs snaps, whomever it may be. The young receivers, and there's plenty of them, need targets. The second and third team running backs need carries. Expect to see Braylon Russell, obviously, a lot. This is going to be a 2-headed running back, just dynamic duo for Arkansas this year. The defensive line, which I think is a massive question for this team from a positional standpoint, needs to prove it has answers, depth, and tenacity. And special teams needs to establish trust within the offense, or within the staff and the fans. Because when a game moves into the second and third quarter, watch who's coming on the field. Because this is going to be much more telling on who the staff believes can really help and assist this Arkansas football program in year one under Ryan Silverfield. Let's not forget, the best teams are not carried by 11 starters. They're built by 40, 50, or 60 players who can contribute when called on. The scoreboard will matter. You're going to look up, and it's going to be probably a lot to a little in the favor of Arkansas. But the bigger question after week one is whether Arkansas leaves week one with more answers than questions. So, as Arkansas gets closer to North Alabama, the checklist is very clear to me. Settle the quarterback situation, get healthy, build confidence in and within the offensive line, establish the running game off of that confidence in your offensive line. Defensively, you have to find depth, especially at the defensive line position. Like I said, I firmly believe this is a position group that needs some major shoring up. But you've got to get special teams sorted out as well. You enter week one with a clear identity. The opener against North Alabama should be a game Arkansas controls from the very first kickoff. But with a new staff and important questions still hanging over this roster, the process matters almost as much as the final score does. The opener is not about winning the press conference. It is about winning cleanly, staying healthy, and leaving with answers after a win. But questions for you as we close. And we appreciate everyone watching and listening tonight over on 4-Star Sports Media, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter or X. But questions for you, shoot it to us in the comments. But who do you want at quarterback? Who do you, as Arkansas fans, want to see as quarterback? Second question, which player are you watching most closely this season? Week one, who will you be watching the most? And what does a successful week one look like to you? Is it a 30-point win? Is it clean football? Or is it both? Tell us in the comments. Subscribe to our networks because we have multiple shows. And follow 4-Star Sports Media on all of our socials. And head to our website, 4star.live, for all of our content. We appreciate everyone watching and listening. This has been Hog Slop, presented by Mojitos Fayetteville. We will keep you covered through. We've kept you covered through all fall camp, and we're going to keep you covered all the way through the final kickoff. Thanks everyone for watching and listening. Have a good evening.